So finally, the day has come. French ambassador to Niger, Ambassador Sylvia Ite, has left the country. Hello, I am Mahlet Ayele, your host at Connect Africa, bringing you the latest from Niger and the region. Stay with me. Ambassador Sylvia Ite has left the country early today after months of rally or protest against the French ambassador, meaning for him to leave the country by the Nigerian people. And also after 2 months, it has been 2 months since the military administration of Niger has ordered the expulsion of the French ambassador from Niger. So today, 27 September, the revolution or the coup happened on 26 August. So it's after 2 months. And then the other note is a couple of days after President Macron said on Sunday night that the ambassador will be recalled within hours. So with that, of course, still the military is there, which the President Macron said they will leave by the end of this year. But there are a lot of questions to ask. I mean, it's one step at a time. Ambassador Sylvia Ite, or the French ambassador to Niger, has left the country early today. Now, what are the remaining questions as they celebrate? This is the fruit of the people of Niger, and then, of course, their government. But what are the remaining questions? For example, how did he leave? You know, there are people who have called a sit-in rally for the past 2 months in front of the embassy and the military base. So don't we have any picture? That might be one question. And then what does it mean for the relationship of these two countries, meaning Niger and France? What are other fronts, the other types of bilateral relations between these two countries? What happens to them? These are the things one needs to ask. So we're going to spill the tea, what we know here. So stay with us, okay? Let me just, so yeah, this is Ambassador Sylvian Ite, the French ambassador to Niger, who has left. So first of all, to address it one by one, the way I ordered the question, he left the country. Of course, the French didn't want any drama to happen to them or any scene, because there are people in front of the embassy, and then they didn't want it to be filmed, of course, and he left actually, as per the reports that are coming out from there, is 3:45, early morning, 3:45 a.m. He was taken from the embassy to the military base, which is still in the capital, in Niamey, and then reportedly he was flown to Paris. So that's it. You know, that's congratulations to the people of Niger and to the military administration, their consistency and their commitment to have this, to what they said and to what they demanded, regardless of a lot of backlash by their own regional organization like ECOWAS, and then the African Union being banned from membership, and then a lot of Western countries. And above all that is also the sanctions laid by ECOWAS. There is no in and out. You know, it's these people are sacrificing the people of Niger in all fronts, politically, in security wise, and also economically. You know, things have skyrocketed, things that they want to sell outside of the country. You know, those Western, ECOWAS is originally, it's a economic community for Western African states. So there is a free movement of people and then trade between the people. So that has been stopped, and that's really a huge pressure, but regardless, they were committed to what they said, and also to be banned from the African Union. They lost their voice. That means if they want to ask something through the African Union, which is a bigger organization, then that has been as well denied from them. And then the sanctions that has been from the EU, from France itself, the funds that they have been denied. There's a lot of sacrifice that they have made, and it will continue. It will not stop here. So there will be a lot of backlash, a lot of sanctions. Now let's see what the European Union comes and says, or even other financial institutions, and then still being sanctioned by their own neighbors. It's this country and people, they need support. So I will leave it there. The other thing that one needs to ask, look at them. This is what they have been doing, the rally in front of the embassy. This is and yeah, that's it. That's the French embassy in Niamey, in Niger. Just to, now what happens, the other question is what happens to the meal-to-meal relation, as they call it in politically, meaning the military-to-military relation between these two countries. They, as you know, 14 African countries, Western African countries, who used to be the ex-colonies, the colonies of France, have signed a colonial tax to be paid to France in various ways. And it has 11 components. And from those 11, 2 are regarding the military. So amongst from the various measures that the Niger military administration has taken is that to cancel 5 types of agreements that have been made military to military with France. So every year it was supposed to be renewed. So every September, beginning of September, because of what they have announced, they did not renew that military agreement, 5 types of military agreements with France. And it's based on that, of course, they're requesting the military to leave the country. Well, so far the military did not start to move. Perhaps, France is looking for another country, another who used to be a colony of France, to transfer its troops. This is what they have done when they were kicked out from Mali and Burkina Faso. So the ousted man, or the ousted president of Niger, Bazoum, welcomed them. So they were transferred to Niger. Now that Niger is kicking them out, where will they go? We don't know, but we can guess countries like Togo, Benin, Senegal, those countries who have said, who were in the upfront to contribute force to intervene militarily in Niger, might be, and or also Ivory Coast. These are really the puppet leaders there who are entertaining, who are serving the interest of the French government. That is something to be seen. Another thing with this military to military relationship is that President Macron said they will leave, I think maybe not at a time, all around 1,500 of them, but slowly. So, but by the end of the year, they should be all gone. But there is a disagreement, a bit of a disagreement reportedly from what's coming out from there by the Niger government, that they want it to be done according to their own terms, which is really kudos to them. It shouldn't be according to France. They have pushed so far and sacrificed so far to make it in their own terms. So they need to push it now to do it in their own terms. Now, what about the political, what happens to their political relation is that now that the ambassador is gone, most of you might think that this is the end of it, that the embassy will close. No, the embassy will not be closed. There is a deputy ambassador. There is all different types of attaches, cultural, military, economic. These are normal to have in one embassy. But again, many things have been cut in between these two countries. Like, for example, the military, the attaché needs to be there until each and every military of France is flown out. And then economically, it's another thing. But culturally, we have seen that what the measures of the French government, in which the cultural minister have banned visas to Niger students who have been admitted or who are planning to study in France, and then not renewing the one who are also already in France. And then they have banned artists as well, although they came out and the minister kind of denounced it, but still the artists are banned. So what kind of cultural relationship will be there? It's so slowly it's dying. But politically, once you kick out, you expel the ambassador, or even to the other side, that you recall your ambassador from one's country where he or she is assigned. That's it. The political relation is pretty much dead there. So there's nothing to be done. But of course, if you, it's same thing for Mali and Burkina Faso. The embassy is not closed, but what are they doing really? It's just much less. It's like a dead activity for them. There is nothing much to be done. Now, what remains is that now it's the economical relationship. So, with regards to economically, we have seen. I also have come across the uranium is one thing that France exports in a bigger amount from or Niger exports to France. By the way, what I said first also, it works because it's pretty much owned by the French people themselves, by the French government, than the Niger government of the uranium in Niger. Okay, so economically, I have come across, and you people also have come across, that the price of uranium has increased from 0.80 to 200 euro. This wasn't. There was no confirmed information, so I did not want to comment to report this. So still, I don't see anything. I have searched. I didn't see anything that came out from the Niger government confirming this. So, but it's true that the Niger government wants us to do it in its own terms, setting the price. But just to say a little, this what you see here is it's a company called Somer. So Somer it's a uranium. It's a mining company in the desert of Niger. So Somer it's a mining company of the Niger government. Let me see if I know that the full name of it. I'll just check if I can find it somewhere. Yeah, it means Société des Mines de l'Air. Okay, that is the name of it. In any case, this Somer is owned by around 64% of it is owned by a mining company, a French government mining. Sorry. Excuse me. So around 63% of it is owned by Orano. It's a French mining company, French government mining company, and around 37% is owned by the Niger government. But you can see it's more than 50%, around 63% owned by, actually to be exact, 63.4% is owned by Orano, which is a French government mining company. The other 36.6% is owned by the Niger government. So they want to change this proportion. I mean, mostly practically what is done when you privatize something, or when you have a partnership, you do something in share between government, is that it's maximum 51-50 each, or 50-49, 49-51, something like this you do, but not more than that really. So reportedly the Niger government wants to change this and the price as well, but to what extent, it's something to be seen. But of course, in the beginning, we have heard and read that the uranium export has been stopped, but not really. It did not stop. On what thing, it's something to be seen. But, practically speaking, or politically, for a country to be able to set its own price, you have to be in control of fully your own territory, your own country. If you say that you are a sovereign country, right now that's not the case for Niger. So they have to make sure that this French military is out of their country. Okay, so then only then they will be able to protect their interests. They will be able to protect their market. They will be able to set up their own price. They will be able to negotiate, to come on the table with their own terms. This is what we want you to do. Right now, they have that French army. It's not just weapons, it's a whole lot of things. It's an airbase. There's intelligence involved in it. So they're there. Actually, they say it's in the name of fighting terrorists, but it's not really. It's there to protect their interest. It's once they're out, maybe the Niger government will have much say in setting the price, its own price, and to whom, or to whomever they want to sell, also, for that matter. Because don't forget, one of that French colonial tax, it has 11 components, and one of them is that the prices of anything that is going to be exported from these ex-colonist countries of France are set by France. And then they have stipulated in that colonial tax that France will be the first choice. When France said already, okay, I had enough, now I can share with others, that those countries can go and look for other countries for a market. Okay, this is how they're tied up. It's a shackle. They have to unchain that first. Yeah, it's a lot of things to be done, but of course, one step at a time. Kudos for the people of Niger and for the government for their commitment, without any clash as they wanted them to do. It was a trap for them, that confrontation for people, to rally to the protest for, they have done students protest, they have done women alone came out and protested, they have done all types of people, from all types of age groups, and they have done everything peacefully to make this happen, and they are successful. And they were even banned, because France is the member of the Security Council in the United Nations. They were banned to speak in the United Nations. That was really, every country has a right to speak. But with France being, in the Security Council, which the UN told us publicly that they will listen to the Security Council suggestion. And we know that France has a permanent seat. So their representative was not able to speak. Their voice have been taken. Many things have been done, but without a single shooting or anything, any confrontation, just a peaceful thing, and they have done it. This is a success, but is the work finished? Not yet. Do they have really do they need to completely cut France out of their life? I don't think so. If France start to see Niger equally as equal partners, not like a colony, and completely disregard that colonial tax agreement, then I think there's no need to cut the tie, because there will always be people-to-people relations. There are a lot of Nigerians there, and maybe people are married, they have intermarriage between France and the Niger. We have to think of all those things. So once France wants to see, or is ready to see Niger or all those 14 Western African countries that it used to colonize as equal partner than as a business made in with other countries, or as a business France make a business with America or with Germany or with any other country, then why not with Niger as well? So that's my opinion. Of course yours can be different. Before I leave, so that's as far as the departure of the France ambassador or his how do you say, expulsion is concerned so far. But before I leave, I want to, I like to monitor the media. So this is what I came up, and I want to ask you what you think about it. I have laid out everything. Okay, this is a success. It's for 2 months this have been going on, but what are the things also hanging in the air? I have laid them out, the questions to ask, things to observe. Now, let me share this with you, how Al Jazeera reported it, and I will ask you how you will see it also. Just a second. Just listen to what the man says, and I will stop it when he say what I want him to say, and then I'll ask you a question.
Well, look, this plane that took off from...
So this is a reporter from Al Jazeera. So the man is based in Dakar, in Senegal. So the man from the main studio of Al Jazeera is asking him, his opinion about the departure, the removal of the French ambassador leaving Niger. So let's listen.
Well, look, this plane that took off from Niamey was long awaited. There's been protests outside the French ambassador's residence asking for him to leave. And so the French didn't want to have a scene. So he departed Niamey at 3:45 a.m. in the morning, away from public eye. There was no one allowed to film that scene. And then he went to N'Djamena, where there's a French military base. And then he's, as we heard, on his way to Paris. This is a small victory for the military junta led by General Chiani, who has asked for the ambassador to leave. That doesn't mean that it's the end of the diplomatic relationship between France and Niger. There is still the deputy in charge who will take over Sylvain Iche's role. But the departure of Sylvain Iche was a key demand by the military junta in Niger, who had wanted to see a reset of the relationship between Niger and France on the diplomatic front, on the military front, and on the economic front. On the military...
So you have heard him. He said that is a small win, a small victory to Niger. So, I just wanted, I took that, for you to look at it, how these people, the mainstream reports it. And then, sometimes it's also it's good to reflect it on ourselves and ask, is it really? So he said a small victory. Now, I will ask you this. How do you see that now, the expulsion of the French ambassador after 2 months, now that he really left physically Niger? How do you see it? Is it a small victory for Niger? Is it a big victory? If a big victory, why? If a small victory, why? What is big victory according to you? This will help us also what we do here in the live stream, to give it a lengthy discussion and perhaps also feature you and explain your opinion. So I really, really want you to take this seriously and reason it out in the comment section. What do you think? Is it a small victory, as like this reporter from Al Jazeera said, or is it a big victory? And why? The reason. So really, it's a good one. It's a first step. It has been fought. We have been, saying that it's a very sticky situation for the Niger government, saying that ECOWAS is not attacking or militarily intervening. They really wanted that, perhaps that if Niger, this military government does it forcefully, then all this we will be in a whole different scene. Okay, but really kudos, they have handled this very well. They knew how to mobilize their people. I used to say I'm an Ethiopian, and it's always for us, it doesn't matter in which stage we are, whether it was during the emperor time or the political or socialism, it doesn't matter. But our leaders knew how to mobilize the people. And I think one of the biggest is asset for us, for us not to be colonized, that we were not colonized. They always knew how to mobilize the people, regardless of the internal differences. So really well performed by the government of Niger. They used their people, and the people also wanted, they were tired of this economic exploitation in their country. They wanted to see the fruit of their own resources. So a very well combined work. Congratulations to the people of Niger. That's all I have to say. But you do not forget, go and comment whether this is a small victory or a big victory for Niger, and reason out yours. I really look forward for each and every one of you. And then perhaps I will contact you and we'll have an open mic session where we can reason out. For now, that was it. Tonight, again, we will meet on our live stream with Kwame Gonza, where we are going to do maybe the final stage, the final analysis of the speech of the remaining of the people in the United Nations General Assembly, from Mali, and then a bit of the Italian Prime Minister, the Venezuela one, those who, which are related to Africa. So I will see you then. So until the next one, bye. Thank you for tuning in. Really, thank you very much. I wish I could give you a shout out, but I have taken already so much time that I have planned. But I will look at to your comments in the chat section. Ciao.